Hello, it's Frank Tyndall here. I would like to show you the tracker results for the 10 days to the 20th of February 2012. There are 17 farmers in this particular group. They are all from the Macalister Irrigation District. I'd like to show you how they are performing and how they are getting their feed margins. I will use the Macalister demonstration farm as a particular example. You'll notice all the other farmers are simply numbered at the top. The Macalister demonstration farm is coming 6th at the moment. The first thing to look at is how much margin each cow is making over feed, and for the Macalister demonstration farm it's $5.92 at the moment. So that's the feed costs for each cow, which is $3.76, subtracted from the milk income for each cow, which is $9.67. So there is a margin after all feed costs of $5.92. You'll notice some farms at the top, at the left-hand side, are achieving well over $6, and other farms on the right-hand side are as low as $4 per cow feed margin. So back to the demonstration farm column, the $3.76, which is the cost of all the feed, is calculated by adding up all the inputs that are made to growing the grass for that period. For example, 3.6 millimetres of irrigation water, some nitrogen, no phosphorus, a little bit of potassium, some renovation costs and some topping. All those costs are added up and they actually total $4.62 spent per hectare per day. The other indicator that is calculated is the pasture consumption per hectare, which for the demo farm is 37 kilograms of dry matter per hectare per day being consumed, which equates to 9.3 kilograms of grass per cow per day. Now when that 37 kilograms is divided into the total cost or the total expenditure per day, the cost of the pasture comes out at $126 per tonne. So that's one contribution to the feed cost, which is the $3.76. The other contribution is the purchase feed or the supplements, 7.9 kilograms at $327 per tonne. So that's how the feed costs are calculated. The milk income is a little bit easier. The $9.67 of milk income is calculated by multiplying the milk price, the $5.36 by the milk solids per cow, 1.8 milk solids per cow per day, which is 25 litres for these particular cows with their particular fat and protein test. So the milk income becomes $9.67. So you can see the feed margin per cow, $5.92. Now when that cow margin is multiplied by the stocking rate, which in this case here is 4 cows per hectare, you get the hectare margin. Now both these margins are important and they are both used to rank the 17. So you'll notice that the high hectare margins are over on the left hand side as well as the high cow margins. Now that's one sheet that you receive with your tracker analysis. The other sheet is your own particular graphs. So if we click to there, we will see the individual graphs for the Macalister demonstration farm. And the first one shown here is milk solids produced per cow per day, and you notice that it has dropped off significantly in the last a couple of 10-day periods. The other very significant graph is the amount of pasture consumption consumed per hectare per day. With all these graphs, the blue line is this year, the red line is last year, and the green line is the year before. So those two graphs are very, very important. In the section where it says your graphs, there are in fact about 50 graphs, and I'm just showing you the few really important ones. Many of them are useful though, but these are the really important ones that are driving the feed margin. Down a little bit further is the farm margin overall feed per day. So it's currently sitting at $1,606 $153 per day for the whole farm. That is the milk income, subtract all the feed costs. That's what the farm is achieving. And you can see that it is somewhat above 2 years ago, but behind 1 year ago. The margin over all feed per cow is another fairly important ratio, and we've talked about that already in the table of data. And remember, it was sitting at $5.99, which there it is graphed, which is a little bit behind this time last year. Now, the other important part to the tracker results are the group graphs. So these are a set of graphs that show the whole group for a period of 2 years. So the blue line is the top figure for, or the top farm for that particular aspect. For example, this is stocking rate. So you can see the stocking rate of the highest stocked farm there, and you can see the stocking rate for the lowest stocked farm there with the red line. And the black line is the McAllister demonstration farm. So you can see its stocking rate is a little bit behind the top farms, but well above the lower stock farms. Pasture consumption in the same way is shown, and you can see the McAllister demo farm has pretty good pasture consumption, near the top most of the time and well above the bottom. There are a number of graphs in this particular section, and it's all designed for you to see how your farm, which will be the black line, may be comparing for a number of items. For example, milk solids per cow. You can see the demo farm achieves quite high milk solids per cow. It's dipped off just at the moment. So if we go back to the figures, this is the chart that ranks all the feed margins, but there is plenty of other information about your own farm over a period of 3 years, or graphs showing how your farm compares with the top and the bottom in the group.